Hello everybody, or well, should I say nobody? Not getting much hits on my channel yet. But anyway, I'm gonna keep going and see what happens, like I say. Um, Today I want to talk about ancient history and um, the truth about how the universe works from the eyes of the Electric Universe and the Thunderbolts Project, which is their YouTube channel. The They have a few videos. One's called Remembering the End of the World, and another one's called Symbols of an Alien Sky, and then there's Thunderbolts of the Gods. These three videos are a must watch. They explain how that we and Mars were orbiting within the plasma bubble slash corona of Saturn as it was traveling through deep space tens of thousands of years ago, and was captured by our sun at some point, and the plasma bubble disappeared when the electrical contact was made between the two bodies, and then Saturn spat Venus out, with all the Greek mythology legends about Venus coming out fully formed, but was born fully formed, sorry. And she was known all over the world as a cometary body. She gave off cometary streams of material like a comet would, and they were superimposed upon Saturn, and Mars was in front of it, and yeah, the sky looked way different. It's like the Egyptians said in Zep Tepi, the first time, the beginning time, um, or the dream time, like the Aboriginals say, that we lived inside this plasma bubble. We had a ultraviolet uh, sky, like a purple colored sky, like purple haze, surrounding Saturn, Mars, Earth, everything. We were inside of it, and just floating through space. And it makes total sense because I started off, liking, the Egyptian stuff, and then I moved on to the Sumerian stuff, and then I switched over to the Indus Valley stuff, and learned a little bit about the Chinese, and just basically ancient history all around the world. South America with the Olmecs and the Toltecs as being the firsts, in that area, and the Clovis people in North America, how they got wiped out uh, during a major event that devastated the ice cap that was there and melted it almost completely away. Well, not almost completely away, probably about 40 or 50% of it at this event, this electrical event, and probably a piece of cometary rock was involved and broke up and smashed into the ice crust as well, because there's over 500,000 Carolina bays on in Carolina, the north and south, all the way down into Florida, Georgia, and they extend all the way over to um, Nebraska and Texas. And I think it's Oklahoma. I'm not sure, but they're in a radius pattern, and they all point towards the Great Lake area where something major happened, and just totally devastated the North American continent, wiped everything out. Um, it's about 12,800 years ago, and the Electric Universe says between around 15,000 and 10,000 years ago, something or that not something we were captured by this solar system, and some major devastation ensued as the planets were adjusting into new orbits and breaking up from the original proto Saturn system that we were in. A lot of it makes sense because the ancient story of Lemuria, where there was people residing on the planet a billion years ago. The Vedas say that the history of the planet is billions of years old as well. Um, Something about the Vedas, the swastika is global. It was a one world religion with the swastika, representing peace and harmony, not what the Germans made it out to be, turned it into be. Um, the the thing is, if ancient history is shown to be what it was, a lot of the power structure of the Illuminati and the global bankers, which one and the same, will drop away. That meaning, the truth will come out about that part of history, and things will be shown that humans can live in peace and harmony together. And we did that in the past a long time ago. The only reason why humans have wars now is because 4,300 BC, the Egyptians started the first human wars where people were fighting against other people. And yeah, the Lemurian stories talk about beings who communicated telepathically, had telekinesis. They could do things with their mind that sound eerily like aliens, what aliens could do. Talk to each other without speaking, carry on with their work without having to talk to each other. Um, just fanciful things that aliens are supposed to do. These L's, like Elohim, L-E-L, they transcended, and I think a lot of them, or some of them, decided not to transcend, to keep watching over the life that they had started on the planet. These L's are the beginning race, the elder race, basically. And they're the Watchers slash Anunnaki slash, well, my thoughts on that, maybe the Anunnaki were a race that inhabited this solar system already when we came in Saturn's influence and broke up and destroyed a lot of things. Maybe it sent their planet, Nibiru, out on a deep space trip and back in again every once in a while, every 3,600 years. Maybe the reason why we have an asteroid belt is because when Saturn came in, it hit something big, and Saturn in ancient mythology was known as the god that gave life to Earth at first, and then became known as the planet that, or the god that ate its own children. So that's interesting. I mean, how can a god be benevolent and then malevolent? I mean, sorry, yeah, benevolent and then malevolent. Uh, it's only through the actions of what people observed in the sky, the devastation that was wrought by things breaking up and moving around for the first little while first, being perturbed. I think what happened when Saturn came into the electrical influence of this solar system, it turned off, spat Venus out, fully formed as a planet slash comet, and that influence perturbed Mars and Earth's orbit around Saturn, breaking up that uh, little configuration that we're in, and settling us other places within this solar system, spreading us out apart farther than we'd ever been apart before. And yeah, if you go and look at those 3 videos, you'll see that the sun, the primordial sun, stood in the sky and stayed there in the north all the time. It was there all the time, and the heat was radiated from the corona that we lived within. and gave even heat to the whole planet, and it was a Garden of Eden basically. So, and I mean, it all ties in with the stories of the Anunnaki and the Wheel of Life on the table, and Shamash, and some of the Anunnaki gods that are represented by planetary bodies. Some of the minor gods, well, you can't really call them minor, Enki, Enlil, and Anu. Anu is definitely the planet god, Saturn, so possibly Jupiter. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's definitely one of the planet gods. But Enki and Enlil, I think they're the Watchers that came and for some reason needed um, gold for their planet Nibiru. Maybe they were told that they couldn't come here by the Watchers, and then they made a deal with them that they needed the gold from this planet. Who knows? Things are stranger and weirder than we've been told. And again, if we start at the Thunderbolts project, learn about our ancient history, push the view to our children, push this view to scientists around the globe, and force them to look at it and force them to acknowledge it. And I mean, smarter people than myself have put forward these theories, and they make total sense, especially when you talk about the electric universe, how these Birkeland currents and galaxies mimic shapes that you can reproduce in electrical in the laboratory under plasma experiments using electricity. You can see the same shapes of galaxies and quasars, and the way craters are created. Olympus Mons on Mars is an electrical discharge creation. It's not a volcano. And the Valley Marineris on Mars, and I'm pretty sure that when Mars and Earth interacted, they exchanged lightning bolts, or lightning discharges, electrical discharges, and that carved out the Grand Canyon and gave Mars the Valley Marineris at the same time. I'm almost sure that that's what happened. There's a lot of evidence that um, speaks to that, and there's a meteor crater in Arizona, which is actually square, by the way. I invite you to go and Google it, and go to Google Maps and bring it up as a satellite view and put a straight edge against the sides of it, and you'll see that it's a square crater with rounded corners. And all the scientists are saying that on the moon all the craters are round, and everywhere else on the even on Earth they're round because of the velocities in during the impact, like 40 kilometers a second or 70 kilometers a second, really super high velocities that because of the velocity creates a round crater. Well, I don't care. That's wrong. They won't create square craters. They won't create craters with 5 sides or 8 sides. Those can be seen on the moon and Mars and Titan, and they're everywhere. Most of the craters on Mars and the moon and are electrical discharges coming in at 90 degrees to the surface. During the late heavy bombardment that NASA says took place, you would see if something was coming in at, say, at the top of a globe and hit the top as it was hitting different places in the heavy bombardment era, and hit the top of the moon or the bottom of the moon, the poles, you would see more material on one side of the crater, even if it was round and caused by high velocities. You would see more material on one side of the crater than you did on the other side of the crater, just because of the angle of impact. I don't care. There is an influence of the angle of impact, even if scientists don't acknowledge it, and it's wrong. But anyway, again, most all of the craters on Mars are created by electrical discharges coming 90 degrees into the surface, not a meteor impact coming in at a severe angle. There's a lot of proof out there that gets discounted, especially from 1920s, 1930s, 1950s Nobel Prize laureates, winners that worked in the field of plasma, and all of their perceptions about the universe have been discounted and poo-pooed, and just because they don't follow Einstein's theory of relativity, general relativity, and some of the higher relativity laws that he made up. Actually, the Big Bang, it's wrong. The fact that there are black holes, that's wrong. Stephen Hawking actually says there's no event horizon to a black hole now. Dark matter, now they made up white matter. We should be able to see white matter, shouldn't we? I would think. But yeah, no. The universe is pervaded with plasma. Plasma is a highly conductive material, and these massive Birkeland currents that run through the universe, that power the universe, light stars up. They give magnetic fields to planets within that star. Electric Birkeland currents come off the stars and run through that solar system and run through galaxies the same way. It's amazing. The Electric Universe and the Thunderbolts project videos that they predict, and they've predicted a lot of what's been going on with these new probes going to asteroids and comets and over to Titan and Saturn, and their predictions have been bang on. What they've been saying is that the probes are going to find, they've been finding, and NASA scientists are completely dismayed and shocked at what they're finding. They didn't expect this. They didn't. They're going to have to change models, the mass/gravity model once again, to to adjust for what they're seeing with these probes, and especially what they're seeing with space telescopes, Hubble, and the infrared telescopes that are out there as well, and radio telescopes, and they're constantly changing their mass/gravity model, and they're discounting some of their own theory, and just saying, well, this is the way it is. I mean, it's crazy. It's not right. So, like I say, once again, just go to Electric Universe's YouTube channel, Thunderbolts Project.info, if you want to go to their website as well, and you can see. I mean, I'll put the 3 videos in the description at the end of the video here, but you'll see that it's true. I mean, all of this makes sense. These guys are a lot smarter than me, and what they're saying makes total sense. The scientific community of today is a religion now. It's not science like it used to be. Science used to be objective. You used to, say this is a theory until another theory comes along that's better, that explains things better. Um, Another reason why they don't want this theory to come out into the general knowledge is because if you know the theory, you know how something works, you just may be able to tap the free energy that you may be able to just tap free energy off of that system and power the world forever and ever, amen, and take their money away from them, take their power away from them, take transmission, you have no need for transmission lines if everybody can build a little device, stick it in their house or stick it in their car, and go unlimited miles in their car and power their house with ease without having to pay anybody for power. Yeah, I think that's reason enough for them not to let this truth be known. Um, it's it's a sad world, man. Once you realize, once you wake up and you understand that the global elite, the bankers of this world that control just about every central bank on the planet, they're the ones that are in control. They're the ones suppressing technologies that would benefit mankind and allow us to develop exponentially. I mean, they're giving us little tidbits here, little tidbits there, saying, this is your advancement. This is we should have been in the Jetsons by now, man. We should have been flying around in cars that anti-gravity long time ago, but they're holding it back. Do your research, people. Do your research. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of bull crap out there on the net, but there's a lot of gems, and there's truth if you have the reasoning ability to be able to see through the bullshit, the minutia that's out there. If you can reason, if you have half a brain, you will see if you take the time to do it. This is the problem with the world. The global elitist has this consuming and running around like chickens with their heads cut off, worrying about all the wrong things. Mark me when I say all the wrong things. We need to change. People need to go to the Ubuntu movement, UBUNTU, and have a look at the way we can take power away from the global elite. And you, me, every last one of us, we are pawns in their game of money that they play. Their game of control is money and religion. And don't you doubt that. They control us through religion and they control us through money. So, anyhow, I will get back to this subject later on. It's been fun talking with you, and maybe, just maybe, this gets to a few people. I've only got 13 views so far on 5 videos, so we'll see. Anyways, peace, health, and happiness, everybody. And again, let's start with ancient history. Make the truth be known. Force the truth on those that don't want to know even. Well, maybe not force it, but keep telling these people, the people around you, what the truth of our solar system is, and how we came here. We came here from the Pleiades star cluster, like just about every ancient tribe and every tribal culture today has a myth or a legend that says that all life came from the Pleiades star cluster. Egyptians, North American Indians, South American Indians, Chinese, Japanese, everywhere. The, the Pleiades is very, very important. And I believe that this is where the ancient race, the Els, they sent all of these proto Saturnian star systems that they built, along with watchers in ships, or they built facilities on these proto systems that they put together, and they sent them off to watch over us, or watch over life in general, to watch it mature and turn into bipedal thinking beings. But anyhow, I'm going to shut this off for tonight and upload it and see how she goes. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and again, peace, love, and harmony. All right, bye.